Okay, hello everybody out there in internet land who's watching us, and hopefully the lovely ladies of Vaginal Fantasy are watching us. This is our little hangout to say thank you, and we remember you and we will miss you. So this is the group that was really originally formed out of the Vaginal Fantasy Down Under from Australia group. And we now have our own little reading group, which we call Land Down Under. But we originally came from Vaginal Fantasy, so we wanted to say thank you to them for bringing us all together, because we're from all over Australia and it would have been hard to do it otherwise. As with any good Vaginal Fantasy hangout, we need to start out with, what are you drinking?
Yes.
So we haven't done this one for a while, but let's go down the line, and I'm going to start off with, I'm drinking wine. Traditionally it would be tiny wine because I used to follow Felicia, but now I've graduated to the big stuff, so I feel more like Bonnie.
You got your big girl pants on now.
Yeah, I've got a whole bottle going on. Last week I drank an entire bottle during a not last week, but a couple of weeks ago I drank a whole bottle through a hangout. I've definitely got big girl pants on now. Gee, what about you? Are you drinking?
I just got home from work and I just cracked this lovely bottle of Two Geckos, which is a local SSB, which is, I really like the label on it actually, but my local bottle-o's itty bitty, and the guy who runs he makes this stuff, so they always have it in stock and it's delicious.
You're going to introduce us to that one when we're in Perth for our meetup this year, right?
I will buy all of the bottles.
Yes.
And Mel will drink them all.
Yeah, apparently so. It's very good at making me.
Thank you. I am drinking some lovely diet tonic water with the red ochre from Applewood Distillery we bought at the meetup this last year.
That's nice.
Very nice. Jazz, what about you?
I am drinking Valentine, which is a Scotch whiskey, and Coke.
Very nice.
And it needs more. I need a top up. It's not strong enough.
I'm getting there too. That's not going to take long before I'll be doing that. And I don't have someone to go get me one. It's terrible.
Oh, no.
Kirsten.
I am drinking a Pinot Grigio. I believe it's a New Zealand one. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Naomi?
I'm not drinking anything. I've had a mildly upset belly the last couple of days, so I don't want to risk drinking anything. So I'm just chilling. I've got some water that I'll drink. But
Totally legit. Totally legit.
H2O, that's important.
Yeah. Karina?
I have fizzy water.
Yay!
I don't drink.
Party in your water. Sarah?
Yep.
I am drinking a very large martini, which I have created an ice slushy for to keep it cool.
Oh, clever.
Because I'm classy like that.
Oh, I hope you try that when you guys come over.
That's a very good reason to get those glasses that don't have the stem, because you can sit them in something like that.
Exactly. So I can keep it cool and enjoy it. Yes.
Very nice. All right. So I haven't sort of figured out what we're going to talk about. I've just figured a few things. I thought we'd start off with what book did you join at for Vaginal Fantasy?
That is
I have to look at the list.
Yeah.
open that link for everyone.
So for context, was it Naomi? You posted the list to us?
Yeah.
And I think Mel will put it in the description of the hangout, but it's got every single book and alternate as well, I think, which is super handy.
For the weeks that they obviously had alts, because when they first started, they didn't have alts.
Yes.
It didn't take long though.
No, it was like 4 or 5 months. Week.
Maybe we should start with
fourth month. Looks like.
Sorry, what was that, G?
Maybe we should start with, what year did we join?
Well, I joined in the first year, so that was 2012.
2012, yeah.
My first book was The Iron Duke, which was pick number 4, according to this.
I started on pick number 3, Slave to Sensation.
I think I was Slave to Sensation as well.
I don't know that I obviously read it with you ladies, but I did read along with the girls and watch the hangout for that one. I know that was my first.
We did not have hangouts at this stage. I know for a fact we didn't have hangouts at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one. Oh, sorry.
Maybe I didn't read this.
The first episode I ever watched was episode 10 because I remember that was Poison Study was the alt. I don't remember Master of Prose, but I know that I definitely looked at Poison Study. And then the first book that I actually read was Outlander, which was also an alt. Like, going through that list, I was very into alts rather than the main read.
I found a lot of the times we had the alts in Australia and not always the mains.
Yeah. That happened a lot.
Yeah, so that became quite a common thing for us where we would do our hangout about the alt rather than the main for those reasons.
Looking through the list, I think the first one I ever read was actually Cushiel Start, which is a good place to start.
Mm.
And I have read the Daughter of the Blood one, the Black Jewels one, and I have read Soulless, but I'm pretty sure I went back to those later. I don't think I read them at the time that they were picked for the...
I feel like I read Grave Witch because I'm reading this and I'm thinking this sounds really familiar, but maybe I'm getting confused with another one. I feel like
I don't think there was sex in it though.
Yeah, the first hangout I definitely remember might have been 9 Rules to Break When Romance because I started reading along with the group and wanting to catch up, but I'm trying to think when I joined started out with our group in the hangout.
Yeah.
I didn't ever do until I was in Blood. I didn't ever do a VF hangout with you guys.
Right.
Well, be careful. We were VF Down Under then. We didn't have Blood.
No, I know that, but the first time that I ever joined our group was for Neverwhere, which was one of our picks. It wasn't a VF pick.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, so much of it happened so long ago. I honestly couldn't even tell you who was here right at the beginning.
Yeah, I can tell. Mine was Master of Crows was my first one because I was looking through it, going, I don't think I read that. Don't think I read that, and that was my first one listed in Goodreads as Master of Crows.
Yeah.
Right.
Mine was the Hunted.
Hey, what about you?
I think it was Thulu Erotica.
It was like the month before mine. Because I'm like, I didn't read that. I read Master of Crows.
I watched a few before that though, because I remember seeing these, but I haven't got them as read.
Eternal Pleasure, Gods of the Night. That was the dinosaur one, right?
But to be fair, G, my first one, which was the Iron Duke, I don't think I marked it as read, although I haven't checked, but I don't think I marked it as read because I ditched it. No. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah. That was directed at you.
What? Sorry, what was that? I was busy looking at books.
Eternal Pleasure isn't the dinosaur one, is it?
No,
I don't think so.
Because that's Nina Banks. She's not the dinosaur lady.
Gods. I remember it being hilarious for certain reasons, though.
Sex with werewolves?
No, see, I think that was the...
Oh, was that the one with the lotion being rubbed on?
Yeah, I think it was.
It is the one that turns into a T-Rex. You're right, it is.
It is. It is.
That was the one with the lotion where he was rubbing it on all sensual like.
I don't even remember what I put.
Yes, that's right, because he was like all dry scales and needed it. Oh, yeah.
They were Bonnie picks, weren't they? Both
of them. Dinosaurs. No, those are the dinosaurs ones.
I just love the
T-Rex in the review.
The funny thing is I read the alt one for that one. I didn't really read the main. I read the alt.
Is this the dinosaurs now?
The alt was the one where it's a T-Rex.
I need to find this review because I don't even remember what this book is about.
If you've got the thing up, you links to the book.
Sometimes
the page to Goodreads
you know
page.
The kind with very little plot, with lots of plot holes and ridiculous dialogue, but lots of action, explosions, and hot girl or two. This book is like that. There were so many lines that made me cringe. The ending was just silly, but it was an easy read and a lot of fun. I find it interesting that I can read books about guys who turn into dragons and find it sexy, yet a guy who turns into a T-Rex, not sexy, just hilarious. All I could picture were those tiny little T-Rex arms.
Let me pleasure you. Hello, baby.
Don't you find me sexy?
I gotta go say goodnight to Xander.
Okay.
No.
What I love is that I know exactly which dragon books that she's talking about in that review. So
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and there was Elwind, which was the one before the dinosaur one.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed
that one
but
was
I remember-
fantastic.
But I
She had
remember in the
that
hangout.
velvet
Yeah.
suit in that one.
Yeah, well, I remember them like saying the fashion was a big part of it, but was so of the time. Like they would tell how cool she was and that she wasn't. I think there was a djinn in that one, which I really enjoyed reading more of their lore. I think that was right. Correct me if I'm wrong with the warden.
There were the winter ones as the ones I actually sort of pursued that one a little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't read them through.
Yeah.
Like I didn't read the whole thing. I just sort of like the library had them, so I borrowed them and was skimming through them, but I wasn't enjoying them enough to read them like in detail or anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
God,
that's did I miss anybody? Did anyone not get a chance to say which was their first? Good. Silence is golden.
Yes.
So with that in mind, we're discussing like the good and the bad, but let's do the good first because that's probably as far as anybody else will watch this thing. So like remembering what books we actually read and things like that, there's two questions. Which was your favorite?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Second, yeah, of course, that one's easy. Second, which was your favorite for us to talk about?
So many.
I think the favorite for me to talk about, I reckon Sarah was the one that was there with this one, was the ones with the cat people, like the alien cats. It was so bad.
Oh my God.
The hunter?
I remember
Yeah,
I don't remember why. Do you remember?
I don't remember that one.
You're a full cat.
I don't know if everybody read it because I don't think there were many people there.
Sorry,
in that one.
It was the one, Kim, where he fisted her hair.
Oh, is it? No, not that
It's
one.
the one I'm thinking about because I came into it.
Did
And I was so nervous and I was just like, guys, this book fucking sucks.
She's so goddamn good.
Yeah. When the book
it was just a really bad take on, I don't know. Do you reckon it was Twilight fanfic? I feel like it was.
Probably.
What
it
was that one
With
called?
aliens.
Yeah, they were aliens from another race.
Oh,
and
I'm
she had to
trying
save
to find
from another
book.
planet, sorry,
I can't
obviously.
remember the title.
So my favourite one to discuss was that one. I can't remember what it was, but it was the zombie one set in Brisbane. And Naomi was going off her tits about it, and it was so good.
You mean Flash? That one?
That's not
that
geographically
awful one
correct.
that made me hate it so much. I hated it so much. I went to the BF chat and I'm like, no, all the Brisbane stuff is bad and it should feel bad.
That was me.
Apparently we have some people from Brisbane and they're not happy about this. Yes, I'm not happy.
I drive through that town all the time. Like I drive through that town, it's like the next town over from my mum's place. And every time I drive through that town, I think that fucking book.
You know what it's called? Flash? I'm sure that's what it was called.
Yes, Flash,
Yeah,
I think
that was the
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hated it for other reasons. I didn't know Brisbane. Problems I could tell, but like the book itself was bad as well. Jesus, that guy got a really fast erection.
There we go. Hunter's Claim was that one, Sarah. The cat aliens.
Oh yeah.
Only it was some really lame title.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to click on a few to work out which one it was because some of them are just as bad. The names are just as bad.
I'm going to have to look at the cover to figure out whether I read it or not. I remember the hair fisting thing for some reason.
Yes, I actually
yeah,
think you did read it. I really do think you read it, Kirsten.
It just wasn't particularly memorable.
It's
The
possible.
book itself wasn't memorable. The discussion and how good it was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see. I'll see if it says who read it on here. Da-da-da. Mel read it. Georgia read it. Liv read it.
Mine, I haven't listed it as read on Goodreads. So
No.
maybe I didn't.
Maybe you were
watched
just
the
there for the
hangout.
hangout. Yeah, you might have
Yeah.
because I think Sarah and I went off about that. It's like that's not what fisted meant. No, that was in the Vaginal Fantasy hangout as well. They're like, that's not what fisted means. That is not
Maybe
what
that was
fisted
where I
means.
saw it. There are a lot of hangouts that I watched the BF hangout, even though I didn't read the book. So
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like the girls were just as much fun and entertaining to watch, even without reading the book. Because They're fun. All right, guys, that was all our favourite hangouts discussions. Which were your favourite books? And it doesn't, you're not locked to one, but just like mention one.
Okay, so the one that made me seek out this group was I'm having to look through this, was Kushiel's Dart, because I needed to talk about it with somebody, and I had nobody to talk about it with, and I was like, that's the book that made me go, how do I talk? I need people. Like the rest of it, I was enjoying the books. Like I read, I've been reading along with the group, so I read 9 Rules to Break, the Desperate Duchesses. This is actually after. I tried to read Daughter of Blood. I didn't enjoy it. I read The Iron Duke, loved it, loved Soulless. But the one that I was like, I need to talk about this with someone and made me seek out the group was Kushiel's Dart. So that's got a very strong place in my heart, even though I never read anything else in the trilogy. I've always wanted to, but never got there. I loved Master of Crows. That always sits with me.
Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
And that's, I'm with you. I am dying to read it, but I think sometimes, maybe this is it about Kushiel's Dart, I feel like the world and the story was so good, I'm not sure I want to, there's sometimes where I go, I need to know more about this world and the story, and sometimes I go, I feel like I like not knowing everything, and I wanted to read more about, the Smoke and Bone, but I haven't. I think I even bought the book, and it's still sitting in my Kindle library, and it was a bit the same way. But I love Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It was just, and having been to Prague, it just was fantastic. As sort of imagining it. And then for some really fun stuff, there was the one Ghost Planet was really good. I do remember that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one just the other day, actually.
I still have that on my shelves, and I really liked the companion one the alt one that went on that month as well, which was the Children of Scarabaeus or something along those lines.
No, Ghost Planet was the alt.
Sorry?
Ghost Planet was the alt. Song of Scarabaeus was the main read.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first time that I could get both books in physical format in at the bookstop shop, and it had both. I got both of them, and I was like, and they're both good.
So I love that one. And then I was just reading. I read all of the Agents of Hell, but that's just because I like that kind of chick dick. Sarah, I'm going to stop somebody else have to go. Does anybody want to jump in? That's the idea. Yeah, go. Gee, you go next because you're agreeing with me.
You've said all the ones that I agree with. So the Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I needed someone to talk to about those books. And I was, feasting for more for those ones. And the In Death series, I actually read a bunch of those because I found them really good in between books. So, and I still find them really good, light.
What was the characters in those ones in the In Death series?
So we actually read 1 and 2. Yeah. And it was, the main character was a chick cop, and she fell in love with the rich, recluse guy, and
Wait, which series?
Crime. The In Death by J.D. Robb.
That's the Nora
Roberts. That describes a lot of series. Which is why I was
fell in love with the rich.
They're all like that, aren't they?
There's at least 4 that I can think of that if a rich, the poor investigator cop style girl who falls in love with the rich reclusive man.
In Death is
J.D. Robb. Yeah, J.D. Robb in Naked in Death is the first one, and we also read Glory in Death, which is the second one, and there's about 50 of them or something. She's still releasing them.
Kate Daniels. Is it Kate Daniels? No.
That Kate Daniels sounds familiar.
Yeah, no, I've got it wrong. I think
Dallas.
Kate's the chick in the No.
Oh, you're talking about the Magic Bites.
Thank you. I've read 6 of those now, I really
I read
liked
like
it.
all of them.
Yeah,
There's like
I was gonna say,
18.
Naomi hasn't.
Oh my god, I've already. Oh, hang on. What, am I 6 or 7? I don't know. Where
Yeah,
I'm up
however many there are, I've got like 1 or 2 that I haven't read. But
yes.
I've read all of them up until that, and I wouldn't have
to.
read that series if I
love them. I love
Yeah.
them. I think they're brilliant. I think.
They're just a good like trash read. Like
Which
if you just
ones?
want something, a quick,
Yeah.
easy read that's not like it's got
But I like-
fun characters, but it's
I like the
nothing like
characters
that
in
you
it.
need to think about.
I call them potato chip novels. So
Yeah.
it's like
Nice.
you eat it all in one go.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
Fried
junk food
potatoes.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're tasty and
Yeah.
delicious, but you also wouldn't want to eat them all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
like
No,
that.
I've
Yeah.
had to
You're
stop.
down.
Because I did like all of them. Well, not all of them. I did like 6 in one go, and I was just like, I need a break. I need to change. Change
Yeah.
pace. Do something
So
else.
which ones were these in particular? Or are you just talking about the genre of novels like the
No,
big
Magic
series?
Bites.
Magic
The
Bites, that's
Daniel
the-
series. She's the investigator with supernatural powers who falls in love with the reclusive, richish guy.
And that's the one I thought you
He
were
turns
talking
into a
about,
lion.
G. That's the one I
That's
thought you
his
were talking
special
about. And then I read it, I'm like, oh, that's the one with the prostitute, that where prostitution is legal. And then it's a weird, and then I realized it was, I thought you were talking about Naomi.
I'm just describing every VF book ever.
Yeah, but this one, the guy turns into a lion.
Oh, I
I
remember that one
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Now we remember. Like they're not all werewolves; they're just people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that I like that. I like that it was different like that.
Yeah.
About
Yeah,
the
I like
magic
it
and the
different.
science.
I
Like
I
the
like that
technology
too.
would drop and then magic would work.
Yeah.
I like that. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was
concept.
cool. That was good.
I did like the world build.
Yeah,
building.
really good.
Like it is a very
Oh.
junk foody book, but it does have a reasonable like world built. Like
Yeah.
you know, there's a good
Oh.
science behind it and how they use like the vampires and how the magic works and how like the wares of the sort of, you know, werewolves, lions, tigers, whatever, they all have their sort of personality traits that are sort of leaning towards more of the animal that they do change into as well.
My pick for the junk food book was, and Mel, you'll get this one, was the Dragon Actually series.
Yes.
Because I read the first one of that, and then I think I might have actually read that before it was a VF pick because Mel recommended it.
Yeah, because I actually recommended that.
And then I went all of
but she
those,
picked it.
and it was so like, oh, this is terrible, but I can't stop.
Yes.
I was reading on the train.
Oh, yeah.
I was almost ashamed. I was like, well, what am I reading?
Hey, Kristen, that series is still actually going.
Oh, really?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I stopped reading like after the 5th one or something along those lines.
I don't think I can pick it up again because I'm too cynical now, and
Yeah.
also I've forgotten all of what happened in all the others, and I went through.
I just found that it was too long. Like I was, I think, I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely got to the point where I could only read the fluffy stuff every
So
now and then. I
often.
couldn't do it as much as I
Mm.
could do.
Yeah.
Well, I read the Anita Blake novels. Like I read them long before we started VF, and they're my like. If I feel like having a trash novel and I just want something I know is something I'm just going to enjoy and it's just trashy, that's what I read.
I would say probably was Master of One that I really enjoyed, but it wasn't a trash read, was Lions of El Rassan, I think it was, the Giga Roque.
Yeah.
That was a really good read, that one. I actually think I like that one better than Tigana, which is the same author, which we read with Sword and Laser, and I was like, this dude's good.
I don't think I read that one. And I did read Tigana, but I don't think I got to that one. I think that was one of those ones where I just didn't get around to it.
His name seems so familiar.
Which one? Oh.
So the ones I've picked as my favourites were Poison Study. I loved the Poison Study series.
that
I
was
read the
good.
whole series.
Oh wow.
Master of Crows. Oh yeah, there's a lot of books in that series.
Is the Poison Study the one with the taster?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. I've got it right. Okay, good.
Yeah, I really liked that series. She only just finished the last one a couple of years ago or a year ago or something. Master of Crows, I really liked. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I loved. I actually bought that for a friend of mine for Christmas last year, and she came to me and she says,
where are the others? I need the others. And I went and I said, I borrowed them from the library and I don't have my own copies. And she was like, what? So I bought her the first book in the series. And she was like, I was like the crack dealer, you know, like, here's the first one.
I'm always though, like, when someone likes it like that much, I'm like, dude, just go buy them. You'll have them on your shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one that I don't think anyone else has mentioned yet was Fortune's Pawn, which was the one with the girl with the suit.
Yes.
I always now, like, we were talking about this when we did our Hangout of the Expanse about Bobby from the Expanse and her reminding us of that character.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually, when I was flicking through, I saw that and I was like, because I did, you know, obviously I can't talk about all of them, but yeah, that world, it was like, I think we talked about it, so, you know, a lot of us love Serenity, so it has that feel of being on a ship. And I think we also read as part of Land Down Under, we read the one with the bird that's the pilot, or maybe that's that one.
Yeah, no, that was a different one. That was Long Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Oh, so
yes.
Yeah, there's that kind of.
That was fun.
I think we just enjoy stories about ships and crews. That's one of the things I liked about the Iron Duke in the second book, which follows the steam, the, what do you call it, the balloon? What do you call those things?
Airship,
Zeppelin,
the airship. Yeah, I love that because you get to know the crew. So yeah, no, good call. Kirsten.
So since you've joined us, Matt, would you like to tell us which was your favourite of the VF books that you read?
I was looking at the list today and I think I read 3.
Which of those 3 was your favourite?
Because it's actually hard to say. The 3 that I read were Tales from a White Trash Zombie,
Yes.
Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and Ghost Planet.
3 good ones.
Good choices, Matt. Good choices.
Picking between those would be hard.
I can't remember when I came into the group, because Kirsten had been in it for a while, and I sort of was like, I don't know, some of these sound interesting, but not everything. So I read a few, but I don't think it was too long after whatever the last one that I read from the list that the Land Down Under one started. So I don't know.
Which was the oldest of those ones?
Ghost Planet
White Trash
would be
Zombie.
the oldest.
Yeah,
The first one is White Trash Zombie, then it went Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and then Ghost Planet.
Yeah.
Just trying to find Ghost Planet because that'll tell me. Yeah, that would have been because that was book 16, so that would have put it mid the second year, which is when we started Land Down Under.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did we start Land Down Under with Primer, depending on how you like to say it?
The movie.
Yeah.
Prime of the movie, yeah.
We should probably say that we did Sword and Laser as well. So
you did, and I think that it was like an involvement, right?
Yeah, but I don't think we started with Primer. I'm just going to the page.
I think that might have been our first movie. Our first book was The Fault in Our Stars.
That's what I thought. It was because we just started talking about other things we wanted to read and talk about, but also that there were other things we wanted to do outside of books. So that's sort of how the group came and evolved. Yeah. I was actually looking at the list trying to figure out what was our first vaginal fantasy VF Down Under. Good God. Hangout, and I actually think it was Kushell's Dart. Now it's really unfortunate I don't have the videos anymore. Like my video feed doesn't go back that far for some reason.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know where they are or what's happening. I can't see them, so I can't confirm it.
G+.
Sorry?
G+.
G+. Yeah, that'll be where they are or something. I don't know. I think it's got something to do with the
before the merge of them and YouTube or whatever.
I seem to be missing an awful lot of videos from my my video list. But anyway, I'm pretty sure based on what's on the list in the order of things that our first one was actually Kushell's Dart with Daughter of Blood, the Black Jewel series, the Australian author. At the same time, because we were doing both at that point in time. So that actually I didn't realize that Kushell's Dart was so early in the series, like in the order of things.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of, they did one a month, so we were like 8 months in or something.
6, because we started in the middle of the
6?
year. Yeah. So it was book 6, and
because June is July, which is our anniversary, June or July.
Yeah, our anniversary is pretty much 1st of July. So it was the hangout was for June, for June's pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would make sense. So yeah, which I'm just sort of like, whoa. But I'm wondering, did it take us a while to get organised, or did it just take us a while to realise we could? I know Vanessa, who's still part of Land Down Under, she just doesn't participate much, actually started the Calling All Aussie in BF to get people together and to come join us. Which, by the way, we still get people requesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's why I'm sort of sad. Like, I want someone to take over the group, because I'm not obviously interested in doing the books anymore. And I think, unfortunately, it's even more so now with the ladies gone. But if somebody just wanted to do it, like, I'd be like, here, take it. It's all these people, go for it. But yeah, I'm actually thinking about closing the group gap down, because I'm like, nobody wants to take it and nobody's really using it, and we've got our own space. So
yeah. I just don't have time anymore. Like, when I was working part-time, I had time to, like, read 3 books a month.
Yeah.
Like, but now I barely have time to read the book we're reading, let alone anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a time before I had children when I could read the VF book and the Sword and Laser book and the Land Down Under book with no trouble. And no, that doesn't happen now.
I used to read a book a day.
Point out how many have moved while since being a group. There's been quite a few babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how long have we been going? A while.
6 years since VF Down Under started, at the middle of this year, and 5 years for Land Down Under.
Yeah, because I think Kirsten was actually pregnant or very early pregnancy when I first joined, possibly.
Did you join within, like...
I was pregnant for a long time before. No, because I had
2 years for a long time. Like, it just seemed
I
like
had
it went
2
on
pregnancies before I had Xander that didn't work out. So
No, it was definitely Xander. It was because how old's Xander now?
He's 4 and a half. Nearly.
Okay, that might just be because
4 and a bit.
Or maybe I took a guess. No.
Okay, let's put it this way. When VF Down Under started, that December after that was when we met Felicia in Brisbane. We were one of the few groups that actually had Felicia come and join us.
Yeah.
That was so good. And I definitely wasn't pregnant then because I was drinking cocktails.
I was going to say, I know you weren't pregnant then.
I was mostly on the other side of the country.
I flew up from Melbourne when I was looking up points. Can we fly you up there really cheap?
Yeah.
And then you stayed at our place.
I did. I stayed at your place. I was like, I'm staying at a place with people who I barely
I think it was like
when we had a spare bedroom before we had children.
You were the first official face-to-face meetup.
Yes, that was really the kind of, oh, wow, we shouldn't have done Brisbane again so soon.
I don't think that counts.
It does not.
No, but it was kind of like, I think from there, you guys had such a nice time. You were like, we should do this again. And unfortunately, Matt and Kirsten couldn't come to the next one that we did in Melbourne.
No, in Sydney.
Yeah.
We missed the Melbourne and Sydney ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that must have been,
Well, babies were too young then.
Again, jealously on the other side of the country.
Hey, we're coming to
Stop watching.
But now you understand why.
Oh, yeah. Not cheap for flights, that's for bloody sure.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So for those watching, we do yearly meetups around about the time our anniversary is, and we do them in different locations.
When the weather's nice, I guess.
Around Australia. Yeah, or when we can, I suppose, right?
Yeah, we've moved the time of year a couple of times. Traditionally, it was supposed to be around the middle of the year, but that's our winter. And some people would prefer to go to the beach rather than be stuck rugged up in coats. So,
and yet we didn't go to the beach.
I know. That was weird. But anyway.
I'm sure we can go to the beach while you're in Perth. There will be a beautiful day.
I think it's just I can pack less clothes if it's warmer.
That's true.
This is true.
That's true.
You know, if it's cold, I'm like, oh, I have to take all this shit. Whereas, you know, it was so nice to go to Brisbane for a meetup because I was like, because, you know, that one I had a kid and a husband coming with me. So I was like, there's more things.
Yeah.
All right, new question, guys. How did you discover vaginal fantasy? Not vaginal fantasy down under. Vaginal fantasy.
We were talking about this earlier, and I'm
scrolling through your Google Plus, and you actually did a poll on this.
I assume that I was.
Sorry.
I think I was watching Felicia's vlog, and she talked about it there.
I was watching.
I think that might have been where I saw it too. I can't remember.
I honestly don't know. Like, I assume that's where I saw it because I started within the first 3 months. Like, I didn't read the first book. I looked at the second book and didn't like it, and I read the third book. So I can only assume I saw something on the vlog or on her Twitter that sort of said, hey, we're doing this thing with these cool people. And that was why. I honestly have no idea.
I assume I went the Guild, blog,
Guild.
Guild, same thing, definitely from the Guild for me.
I hadn't actually seen the Guild until after I started watching VF. I'd seen Dr. Horrible. We knew her from Dr. Horrible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how I got from Dr. Horrible to vaginal fantasy. There must have been some link.
Yes, Matt, you've got it very easy there. I think mine was definitely the Guild following Felicia because, you know, love her, and then she made some sort of announcement or something because it was, I know I discovered it fairly early on, but I think I was the same thing. I found it around the third book, but it was it the third book or the fourth book? I can't remember. So I think I found it on the third book and then I read the fourth book. Well, I say read. I ditched it. So
Twitter.
Parasol Protectorate is amazing.
No, my first one was the Duke one. My first one was the Duke.
Duke one.
The Parasol Protectorate must have been the alt.
Parasol Protectorate was the alt. Yes.
I read both. Love them both.
That's still on my TBR. I still haven't read it. I keep meaning to.
Which one?
I think you'd like it, Mel.
Yeah,
you'd love it, Mel. I love that tea.
I know. It's one of those ones I absolutely should read. I just haven't.
It's like it's dresses with pockets and tea. I mean, what's not to like?
Okay, let's put it in this context. It's not on my shelves, and I have almost 100 non-read books on my shelves.
Okay, so whoever gets Mel for the next Secret Santa.
Yeah,
what you gotta do.
I read it because somebody got it for me for Secret Santa, and I've been meaning to read it for ages because I had a physical copy of it, I was like, oh, no, I haven't skipped.
Yeah.
That's why I read it. It was on my to-read list, and then Kirsten sent it to me, so I read it.
Yeah.
Is this Parasol Protectorate?
Yeah, the Parasol Protectorate.
Now I read all of them.
Your copy to Naomi. Yeah. Nice.
So, yeah.
Good stuff.
I actually followed Felicia on Twitter because I was on Twitter early on, and I before I actually even started watching or listening to any of the VF stuff, I saw them tweeting about VF stuff and followed them all, and then decided I had to join from there. And it was because they were talking about Cushil Start that I found them on Twitter as well.
I'd just like to say thanks to Vaginal Fantasy to introducing me to Goodreads because I didn't know about it before then, and oh my God, thank God for it.
I definitely already had Goodreads.
I think I had Goodreads. Let me have a look.
I honestly can't remember. It sort of all started together for me. Like, I think I started up with Sword and Laser at about the same time as VF, and Goodreads at about the same time as that. And so it's all a blur in my head as to which one exactly came first.
I know Vaginal Fantasy came before Sword and Laser for me, but I think it was like the exact same month.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, I could probably go back and look and see on Sword and Laser's list.
I created my Goodreads account. If you go onto your Goodreads profile, it tells you when you made your account.
That's how I knew.
Mine says March 2011. Like, I'd already been on Goodreads for like a good 12 months.
I've just found the Calling All Aussies thread. Sounds like there's a.
I'd be curious to know
who's speaking like a
dog is that?
Oh, that's Bella. Sorry.
No, she just sounds funny.
Yeah. Just a puppy. Just a little puppy.
I was speaking real slowly, like doing the whole, Ghostbusters distorted voice.
Well, she's just doing a please scratch me.
Oh, I take it back. I thought it was Vanessa who started the Calling All Aussie thing, and it's actually called Lisa.
Hi, puppy.
There you go.
Why did you stop? Why did you stop?
You pointed the camera at her. She was like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Got all camera shy.
Oh, Kirsten, you're the first one after me who's actually still in the group.
Yeah, 2012, baby.
That's me.
And there's Melinda, who
and apparently I've been on Goodreads since July 2011.
So I've been on
so it was
since
before VF.
Yeah.
VF didn't start until 2012, so
it's possible that I came across VF through Goodreads. I don't know, but I'm sure
it's so long ago. I honestly couldn't tell you.
I did because I know I was watching the videos beforehand, and then I joined. I think the Goodreads joining was actually twofold for Sword and Laser as well as VF, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Melinda's still in the group, but she's never been particularly active.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know what was everyone's book that was really hyped to them. Like everyone was like, "This is a great book. You're really going to enjoy it," and then you did not like it at all, and you feel real guilty about it.
Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
Outlander.
Outlander.
Oh my God.
I like Outlander.
I
like Outlander.
I own all of them.
I've read all of them.
I had to throw it at the wall. I was
hated with a passion. I'm with you, Sarah.
I just got so far. I'm like, I don't like you. I don't like your husband. Go into the fucking stones and don't come back. I just
that's exactly how I felt. I was just so angry at it.
Yeah.
Didn't like Uprooted. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah,
Uprooted was the Naomi Novik.
Everyone hyped it so much. I'm like, I'm really going to enjoy this. And I started reading it. And I'm like, I don't know why everyone likes it. It's not that good. Make a stand. Hey, it's not good.
I like the world of... Sorry.
No, you go.
I like the world of Daughter and Smoke and Bone, but God, I hate the story. It was just...
You know, one that I think, like, you guys didn't hype it, but it was hyped in amongst the group and the girls in general and the ladies in general and everything, was Swords Point. Everybody kept going on about what this book was a classic and all of that sort of stuff.
Which one?
Swords Point. It was the gay one.
Which
Sorry?
Which gay one?
There was only really been one male gay one that I'm aware of.
Oh, I didn't get to read that.
No,
I read
we
Tipping
did a
the
Grace
Velvet, but I
Draven
didn't
one.
read the other one. Oh,
Yeah.
We did a Grace Draven one that was MM as well.
Did
And
we?
then with
Grace
the,
Draven? I didn't think she did MM.
Yeah, because I didn't enjoy it. You, me, and Naomi were the only ones who did it. What was it?
I'm curious now. Anyway, Swords Point was the one that was very much fantasy, lots of sword fighting, very political intrigue.
You mean the not the Laurel K. Hamilton? Freaking out, what's it called?
Oh yeah, no, that's not Grace Draven. Yes, I know which one you mean now.
Which one?
It's the one that's set in that world where it's all like different worlds and different creatures, and there's this hidden vampire world where nobody else can go there, and they can't leave once you go there. Except they all do, so it's stupid. What the hell?
I don't know which book you're talking about now.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, there's been two gay ones as opposed to, I think there's been only one maybe lesbian.
As far as I know, it was just Tipping the Velvet. Yeah.
So Swords
Tipping
Point.
the Velvet.
Okay, I was reading this around the wrong way. So in the list, the asterisk is the main one, and the one without
I
the
thought the
okay.
asterisk was the old,
Yeah, I was getting
which would
confused.
make sense because that's the one that you would assume.
But that's the other way around. So I didn't read Swords Point because that was the alt for Tipping the Velvet. But that was also the one that people hyped. I have to admit, Tipping the Velvet was okay.
See, I'd read Tipping the Velvet, I already owned it, so I was like, right, well, let's read Swords Point then. So
yeah, I actually listened to the audio of Swords Point because they hyped the audio book because it had audio effects and stuff and like sound effects and different voices and stuff. And I thought, oh, this will be really good. And I was like,
I think
Tipping the Velvet
I
was.
started listening to it and just went,
Yeah, same.
Right.
The book was no better because I had the physical book and I was just, nah. I actually ended up donating it to my library. It's still not on the catalogue. I don't think anybody else liked it.
Tipping the Velvet was the reason why I started the Seashura bookshelf on Goodreads.
What's the bookshelf
as
called,
in
Jim?
the books that I do not finish.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you're talking about the Magpie Lord, aren't you?
I was talking about.
You were talking about Magpie Lord.
Yeah, Mel, I meant Magpie Lord. I read it about the same time as I read Radiance. That's why I was confusing the two.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was like, I read that Grace Draven one, and I don't remember any man-on-man action in it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Grace Draven, but maybe
No,
it
I read
was.
them at the same time.
Because I loved Master of Crows so much, I read a lot of Grace Draven, and she doesn't do MM. So I was like, what?
No, Magpie Lord.
Yeah,
because you and Naomi really enjoyed that, and I didn't enjoy it that much.
I was like middle ground with that one. I was like, yeah, it was all right to read, but it had a lot of problematic problems. But you know, it was just as a VF light read kind of book. It was I found it all right. I don't know, any other ones that you guys thought were hyped? And
I don't think that I had a lot of books that were hyped. Like there were quite a lot that I thought were kind of meh, but there weren't very many that I felt were very hyped before I read them. So I don't know, maybe
hyped after we read them, but not before.
Yeah, maybe after. Like there would have probably have been a few that in the hangout everyone was like, "Oh, this was good." I think they did that with Flesh. Actually, I think the girls in the hangout were kind of like, "Yeah, this was all right," and we were like, "No, it's horrible."
I kind of feel like we're missing half of the books because at the same time we did Sword and Laser. So I'm thinking like maybe some of the books that I really enjoyed at the time were Sword and Laser books. I'm
Possibly.
Yeah, they did have a lot of good ones on their list. I'm going to find a list from theirs.
Another one that I read the alt, I think because the main wasn't available, was Silver Medal Lover.
Oh,
that one
yes.
was hyped as being really good, and it was awful.
I didn't mind it, but I didn't think it was great. Like it was a middle book for
you
me.
can buy a classics version of that book, like one of those special sci-fi classics books.
Oh, really?
You know, with the yellow covers and everything.
Yeah.
Why is this book considered a classic?
Oh yeah, so there are so many Sword and Laser books here that were awesome. So, Bridge of Birds, Old Man's War, Wool. Do you remember? We did Wool. We did
I think Wool was one of the reasons we started.
Yeah, Wool we did in Elder.
We did
Wool
series.
Bone Shaker.
Okay,
I love that.
That's on my list, and I know
Carbon.
my audio thing.
We should probably do a hangout for the Netflix Altered Carbon.
No, I can't do it.
Okay. I'm not watching that.
You know,
I read the book, and I read the book, and I was like, I cannot see this on the screen. I still have nightmares about that friggin' book.
Oh wow! And I heard very, very bad things about women representation.
Westworld mixed with like a mishmash of I don't know Western and old style Japanese films. It's but in the set in the future, it's kind of
There was a torture scene in that book that was the worst thing I've ever read, and I cannot do it. I cannot see it. Like I can handle that sort of crap a little bit better on the page than I can on the screen. Like it's not something I deal well with.
I'm the exact opposite.
Definitely worse on the screen than on the page for me. Because in the book I can kind of sort of shut off my imagination a little bit.
I can't.
I just read what it's about. Is it something Matt wouldn't like?
Yes.
Because I was thinking
he hasn't read the book. I've freaking read the book.
I would like to talk to Matt about it.
Yes, Matt.
It's one I want to read that I haven't.
You and Matt can watch it and hang out and all that. But I said to him like, I can't do it. I actually quite liked the rest of the book, but that one scene.
That's sometimes all it takes. Just one scene that's just that off-putting for you that just ruins the rest of the book for you.
In a lot of respects, I mean, it wasn't the only thing that was wrong with it, but that's what happened with Outlander for me. I was just like, no.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the show since that scene.
So, yeah. Look, to be fair, I stopped watching the show well earlier than that. I thought I'd try the show, but it wasn't working for me, and I knew what was coming, and I was like, yeah. No. I keep trying to figure that book and that series out. Like, I'm like, why do people love it so much? I listened to a podcast recently where
it's so long.
It's it's
so really long.
So much.
I listened to a podcast recently because I was like, well, maybe they'll be able to explain why it's really good. They didn't like it either, so that didn't help.
See, I read that before I sort of started on Goodreads and I had as many books, and I think if I'd tried to read it when I had so many books on my to-read list, I would have been like, this is going too slow and it's too long and I can't do it. Yeah. Whereas I read it when I had nothing to read and I was like, this is really good. It's taking me a while to read and it's really long. And I'm like, but when I pick those books up, it's like meeting up with old friends, like those characters now, because the books are so long and because there's so many of them. I pick them up and I'm like, these are my people. These are my friends. Like, I can't explain it
now after thousands of pages.
Is this Outlander's books?
Yeah.
I feel like that about the Babysitter's Club.
Yeah.
Mel feels me.
Yeah. I've actually finished that podcast, by the way. I'm now caught up and am listening to them when they come out.
I couldn't get so far into it because there's bits that stuck out to them and they didn't talk about the bits that I remember.
It's a comedy podcast. It's not actually about the books. So I only really stuck it through because I was enjoying remembering the storylines and now finding out the storylines after when I stopped reading. So
yeah. Anyway, sorry. Digression.
Well
going off topic. Yes.
Segue.
Tradition.
Yay.
Something that's never happened before for us. We've gone off topic.
We've done pretty well.
Yeah.
I was going to actually suggest, why don't we do a wrap up for the ladies and I'll stop the recording, but we can keep chatting as we want.
Yeah. And get more drinks.
Yes.
Mine's empty.
I've been empty for 45 minutes.
I brought the bottle.
I didn't want it to get warm. It's freaking hot in here.
I would drink more, but I can't reach my glass because someone's comfy.
No, that's your life now. You're stuck there forever.
Oh, what have you drawn, Jasmine?
Click on Jasmine.
Make on the screen.
Make her the thing.
You got to
Jasmine, make
Move it out a little bit.
Move it back a bit.
Move it back, Jasmine.
That's better.
We'll make sure Jasmine tweets this later.
Yeah. And we should tweet it with a link to the video.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. It looks gorgeous.
Oh, good.
Leave it, Jasmine. I'm just going to take a quick Instagram story. Put it back up again. I just want to take a photo because it's just so good.
And Mel, are you wearing a shirt?
I am wearing a Lud shirt.
Oh, I haven't got mine on. I didn't even think of wearing mine.
Is it done?
Hold on.
Hang on, I'm just still getting a photo. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Jasmine.
Oh, yay. That's what I was so quiet. I was just, plus I didn't read as much as I would like.
Oh, I love it. What a contribution. It's fantastic.
Oh, shit. How do I, hang on, I got to text stuff. Here we go. Hey.
All right, guys. So does anybody have any final messages they'd like to give the ladies?
I just want to be like, thank you for bringing this group into my life.
It's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Thank
have
you.
some of my closest friends now.
Yeah.
Of this group and because of these ladies, like I wouldn't
And
have
yet
a
the
life
furthest away.
Now you live in Brisbane, Karina.
Yeah.
Aww.
Aww.
I can't
It's kind of nice that we've had children and relationships and holidays and
Yeah, who could have predicted that?
and drinks and cheese and
and rosemary.
and beer.
So many rosemary
I could do with some
crackers,
rosemary
Coles
crackers
rosemary
right
crackers.
Rosemary crackers. All right. So thank you very much to all the Vaginal Fantasy ladies. Anybody else who watches this, we love you all. Thank you for making us possible. and good night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.